Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with another random channel update video. So, as no doubt the title has alluded to, I'm going on vacation very soon. Yeah, very excited, but it's more than just your average, normal sauce vacation. It's actually going to be a motorcycle road trip vacation, and I'm going to record it, ideally. So the plan. So maybe first let's talk about dates. So as far as dates go, as far as when I'm going on this thing, it is this month. It is April 20th, which is Wednesday, through the. Let me go ahead and look at my calendar. Through the 24th, I believe. Yes, yeah, through the 24th. So Wednesday, April 20th is when I am driving down. So I'm going to go visit my folks in New Mexico. Currently live in Utah, for those of you that don't know. And not too long ago, I bought myself a motorcycle. And over the last few months, as it was barely sometimes warm enough to do, I have been driving it and getting all that jazz. So I'm still finishing up. I was like training with it and figuring out how to really be comfortable with it and how to ride it and stuff. So I'm finishing up the legal parts of it. I'm finishing up getting my driver's permit and then the endorsement for my license for motorcycles. Finishing up that stuff right now, but and that's a lot of the IRL stuff that I keep referring to in some of my videos. That's what I've been working on, is getting all of the legal red tape stuff done for the bike. And as with anything that, anything governmental related, it's very slow and kind of a pain to navigate. So that being said, that is what I have been tackling. So I am finishing up that stuff. So So Wednesday, the April 20th this month, I will be driving down from from Utah to New Mexico. And then I will be spending Thursday the 21st, Friday the 22nd, and Saturday the 23rd in New Mexico. And then I will drive back up to Utah from New Mexico on Sunday, April 24th. And that is the plan. Now, and all that is, of course, very exciting. That is super cool. I'm very ecstatic. Literally taking a motorcycle that was mine on a road trip that I'm driving as literally a bucket list item for me. Now, as cool as that is, there is actually another little caveat to this, which is the reason that this is so exciting for the channel, is I'm going to be recording this road trip. So I'm hoping tomorrow, actually, so tomorrow is Monday, I'm hoping tomorrow to actually tackle the permit side of things as far as my motorcycle license goes. Once I have that part locked in and that I have the permit, so I'm technically allowed to take the bike on the road, then I'm going to order a GoPro. I'm going to get a GoPro and all the equipment, and I'm going to get it all set up. And so I'm going to get myself a GoPro, and then I'm going to record it. I'm going to set it up, so I'm going to attach the GoPro to my helmet, and then I'm going to record the trip. And it's going to be very exciting. That is the other reason, that is the other part of a vacation that's very exciting. And that is also a bucket list item for me. I've always wanted to be able to record a road trip, and like on a motorcycle. So that's the plan. So that's the plan. And so I'm going to get a GoPro, and I'm going to get all the equipment, set it up for my helmet. Now, it's going to obviously take some time, because like I said, I'm hoping tomorrow to tackle at least some of the legal part of it. But once I have the permit down, and then I just have to finish up another half of things to get the actual full-on endorsement. After I have the permit, then I know that we'll be good to go, and I know that finishing up the last little bit I'm not worried about. So after that, I think I will feel comfortable enough to actually order the GoPro and all the equipment I need for it. So that's the plan. Now, once I do have the GoPro, I will need to test it. So I'm probably going to do a little trip around town where I live. I'm going to record that, and then I'm going to do some technical testing. I'm going to try 2 different frame rates. Because I've been doing lots of research on the GoPro and recording side of things, and I'm gonna do more before I full on purchase it. But I was doing some preliminary testing, and it does look like that there is usually 1 frame rate. It looks like most people record like Motovlog stuff in I think it was 24 point something frames a second, and yeah, so it looks like most Motovlog people do that, and it makes the sides look a little bit blurry, which has a really cool effect on a bike. Yeah, and so then, but just in case, I'm gonna test some different things, and I'm gonna do an audio test as well, because there's also a microphone that I'm gonna be putting in my helmet. My helmet already has a microphone, funnily enough, but it is a Bluetooth one that's designed to work with my phone, so I can use it for calling, supposedly. But I don't get enough calls, period, to warrant having a microphone in my helmet, regardless. Anyway, but yeah, I'm hoping I can fit another microphone in it on the other side, and I'm hoping, and so yeah, once I have the GoPro, I'll get it all mounted, and I'll do a sound test, I'll do a frame rate test around town. I'm not going to keep that footage or show that footage anywhere. That's just for my testing, and I'm also going to use it in editing. I'm going to do some editing testing as well, because I'm not positive exactly the editing style I'm gonna use to get the big trip, the big trip edited, because it's a long way, obviously. New Mexico, between my parents live, pretty near Albuquerque, and so between the Salt Lake Valley where I live and Albuquerque is a long way. So obviously I can't just uncut show that footage, because that's whatever. That'll, not even counting what I record while I'm on the trip, that'll be I don't know, 20, trying to think how long that might be. That might be 20 hours of video. So obviously that's just not gonna work, obviously. So that being said, I need to find some way of editing it. I'm assuming I will probably do a combination of cutting out very boring spots where there's nothing happening, and speeding up footage with some sort of really chill, copyright free, obviously, royalty free lo-fi or something, is something like that for different sections, and then I'll just keep some sections just uncut. Something like that. I'm not positive how it's all going to turn out, because I've never done that kind of editing before, obviously. But I do think I can do it. I just haven't done it before. So yeah. That is the plan. So I am going to record there and back, and I'm also planning on getting some sort of handheld thing for the GoPro, so that I can do some stuff while I'm there. And the handheld stuff that I was looking at, some of it has microphones built in, so that way I shouldn't need to do anything complicated with the microphone. I should just be able to plug it all into this little mount and then carry it around, and it should have a microphone built in. So that's the plan. Yeah. So that's the plan. Now, a lot of the road trip part will be shown. There's a couple of little there's only one on top of my head, but there's a couple of little touristy spots we might stop in just to look around a little bit, just because I've done this trip a lot of times, because my sisters went to school in Idaho, and we lived in New Mexico, and so I've done the trip between New Mexico and Utah, and then and even on into Idaho lots of times. But my family it was always a deadline. You know what I mean? There was always deadlines waiting for us. We always had to, hurry there, hurry back, because we had obligations. Well, this time it's going to be different for lots of reasons, because for one, it's different because I'm doing it alone. There's no one else going on this trip with me. And secondly, I'm doing it on a motorcycle that I'm recording. Two things I've never done before. I've driven my bike quite a bit at this point, but I've never taken it on a road trip, and I've never recorded a vacation of any kind. So, but I've never but this one is, so it's different for those reasons, but it's also different because I specifically planned this vacation so that I didn't have to hurry. So on the drive there and the drive back, we don't have to push it, worry about our time because we're not being efficient enough, because I specifically planned it so that I could make this work, so I could do it slowly if I wanted to. So there might be some just scenic views that we stop for. I've already planned all of our fuel stops and things like that. And yeah, and I will, show a little bit more of my gear and stuff once we get, probably in the vlog. I'll show, the different things that I've been doing to the bike and things like that. And I'll show my bike as well, obviously. But yeah, and so I'm, pretty stinking ecstatic about it. So what I don't know is how much of the days there I will be showing. I don't have any concrete plans as far as what my family's doing. The only thing I know that we are considering is that it's pretty high on my to-do list is I want to see, so Albuquerque has has a very, very cool, they call it the biopark, but it's the zoo, it's the aquarium, and then they have these botanical gardens. And it's all very, very pretty. It's like one of the highlights about New Mexico is their biopark. And I like Utah, and I haven't been to the Utah's aquarium, so I can't speak to that, but I have been to Hogle Zoo in Salt Lake. Or it's like near Salt Lake, wherever it is. I've been to Hogle Zoo, and gonna be honest, kind of a shoebox. It's well cared for, but very, very small. And New Mexico Zoo is huge. And far bigger, and you can spend a long time there. And in the Hogle Zoo in Utah, my little sister and I went there once since I moved here, and we wandered and we took our time, and we did it in 2 hours. Like there's not a lot to see. And so, but in New Mexico, the aquarium is a little bit small, but of course it's a desert, so water. But it's not like super tiny, and it's really well cared for, and the zoo is huge. Botanical Gardens is very pretty, lots of cool stuff to see there, and so it's all very pretty. So that is on the list, but I don't know if I'm recording that. So I don't know how much of the actual trip there I'll be recording, because I haven't seen my dad has come up to visit me a couple times, but I haven't seen my mom in like 2 years. So I don't know how much of recording while I'm there I'm going to be doing. So it might be a few little scenes of like actual trip there, but it might be a whole lot of just the road trip itself. Is I think what most of the video is going to be. I do think that I don't know how much of the trip there is going to be recorded. I think there'll be a few clips, but it might not be a whole lot. So I just wanted to get that said. But the actual road trip will be recorded, and that's very exciting. And then it also opens the door for other things. There's a couple of drives in Utah that are around the area that are off the top of my head I do want to do. And once I have the GoPro and it's all set up and I know how to do it and all the editing and everything else, it does open the door for some very exciting things on that front. It opens the door that I could record and do some other really, really pretty drives, and those ones would require a lot less editing, because of course they are, those ones would require a lot less editing because I'm not driving all the way several states away. So yeah, I am very excited. I'm hoping it'll all work out. I still have to finish up the permit, motorcycle endorsement part. That's the next thing. I finally got the bike registered, so that's great. And so yeah, we're getting it done, but finishing up that stuff does take priority on my days off that's not a Sunday, that's not a weekend. I don't expect it'll be a total nightmare, because the part I was really nervous about, which was registering the bike, went fine. It was very, very quick. And so because of that, I'm less nervous about the other parts. So I do have to finish up those. I'm hoping to jump on maybe some of the license stuff tomorrow if we're lucky. Maybe I can get most of it done. And yeah, so that is the plan. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else related to it I need to say. I don't think so. So the only other little last thing related to that is, if tomorrow and the next weekend things work out and I finish up the license stuff and all that jazz, and I get the camera equipment ordered and I do some tests sometime between now and the actual weekend that I go, so it could be the weekend of the 9th, 10th, 11th kind of thing, that's next weekend, or the one after, which will be like 16th, 17th, 18th kind of deal, something like that. So it might be one of the weekends before I go. I have considered doing another pretty, there's a little town called Heber City, not too far away from me, and to get there you have to drive through the canyon. The canyon's very, very pretty. I have considered, if I do have the camera equipment ordered and it's all ready and it's all set up and I've done the test around town and I know what I'm doing as far as the tech goes, once I figure all that out, I did consider, before I go on the big trip, doing a little drive to Heber and back, and then recording that part of it, because it would be a good test drive for something I'm going to keep. And if I did do that Heber City drive, that footage I will keep, and I will probably turn that into a IRL achievements video. And this big one is also going to be an IRL achievements video. I just don't, yeah. So yeah, it'll be very, very cool. So that might happen. And I'm just not sure if I want to do that, because, I'm also getting ready to drive a very long way on my motorcycle. So at the same time, the weekend before I leave, I might not want to do, with my free time, I might not want to do another big trip with more editing and stuff. I might prefer to just, finish up the preparations for the big trip and, stay home and record my gaming stuff, things like that. So I'm not positive that that will happen. But regardless, though, I am very, very excited, and yeah, and I do have one more other announcement that will be a separate video, but I'm going to hold on to it. I don't have a whole lot of evidence that it's going to work out, and so if that looks like it'll pan out, and it's at this point, it looks like a mighty big if, but if that other thing pans out, I will make another announcement, and then that'll go up at some point. I don't have a deadline on that one, but this was one of two that I was sitting on, and this one, because I do have confirmation it's going to happen, this one I felt very comfortable with making the announcement. So very, very excited. I don't know when you'll be seeing this. I still have to record our gaming stuff for the day, but I wanted to get this recorded. I imagine I'll probably get this up sometime between now and Monday. So yeah, that'll probably happen. Anyway, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.